Nothing like a hard day's work paying other people to farm for you. Come on, Noodle, we're losing ticks. I'm Gilgadane. I've set out to prove that I'm worthy of being amongst the top tier of people who play an old medieval point and click game. I have a grind ahead of me, and right now I need to strike gold. I have one goal, the Max Infernal Cape. This is my infernal dream. This series is all about learning, so I figured with the advent of fresh start worlds and hopefully a prosperous 2023 for OSRS, I might as well help others learn too, since it's likely that there are many new players or people that don't even play RuneScape yet watching. From here on out, expect a little more explanation, but I'll try my best to keep it brief. When we left off, I was working on my farming level to hit 92 for the Falador Elite Diaries, and I was also looking at getting my Slayer up to 95 to do Alchemical Hydra. Right now, money is the biggest limiting factor in this grind, so I also need to find a way to make some good money that isn't just camping for Cath, like I just got my quest cape for the first time. Now, you might notice that it has been a while since the last episode, and that's because I was really sick. And then I got busy with work, and then Christmas happened. I got some farming done, but now I'm finally back in action and storming through the levels. Let's talk farming then. Farming is a real headache for me, it's not how I like to play the game at all, but I can't deny that logging into a chunky XP drop is almost as addictive as watching skill specs get sent back to Lumbridge. I'm not doing anything too fancy for farming, but I can divide my runs into regular, once a day, and once to twice a week categories. In the regular category, we basically just have weeds. Weeds are the backbone of my whole farming strategy. See, I'm poor, we know this. But growing Ranarr weeds across the 8 patches I have access to nets me just enough profit to keep my other farming going. Once planted and treated with Ultra Compost, Ranarr weeds take about 80 minutes to grow, and each seed gives me at least 3 or more weeds. I'm likely to not only pay off all of my seeds, but make a profit. According to the wiki, the average return you can expect is around 29k per patch, so as long as I do a few runs a day, I'm making enough to cover all of my farming costs, even if the herb XP is next to nothing. For once a day, we got trees, a whole load of trees. These come in a few different types: regular trees, fruit trees, and special trees. Regular trees I can actually harvest twice a day if I get up early enough. At first I was doing maples, but stepped up to yew trees for the higher XP yield since I'm making so much money on herbs. Each yew sapling is 7k XP, so across a whole crop that's 42k, and if I hit that twice a day, that's nearly 85,000 experience for a maximum of 10 minutes work. Fruit trees take around 16 hours to grow, so theoretically I can harvest twice a day, but being awake at single digit hours kinda sucks. The nice thing about fruit trees is that once they finish growing, you can pick the fruits, which can help to slightly offset the cost of the saplings. I've been doing palm tree runs because they're way more affordable than dragon fruit. All in all, a fruit tree run daily nets me 63k XP, again for very minimal time spent. Special trees are my special tree. Alongside my fruit tree runs, I can grow calcots, just north of Tybo 1A. Calcots are available from 72 farming, and the fruits aren't so profitable here, but the tree is basically just another fruit tree patch and a lot cheaper. It's 12.5k XP once a day, which is nice. The other special tree is the Celastris tree in the farming guild from level 85. Once grown, the Celastris tree can be stripped of their bark, which can be fletched into battle staffs. This helps offset their higher price slightly, but they grow at the same rate as regular trees, so if I hit it twice daily, then that's another 28k XP. So far daily, if I keep up with all my farm runs, which doesn't happen often, I can gain around 190k farming XP. As we speak, I'm at 88, so to reach my goal of 92, if I do all these farm runs every day, I should hit 92 within 12 days. But wait, there's more! Are you keeping track of all this? Do you have your spreadsheets out charting this all? Isn't this fun? Isn't farming fun? Hardwoods and Hespori. Hardwoods are like regular trees, but there's only 3 patches in one spot on Fossil Island. The saplings are dirt cheap, and the squirrels that look after them just want hops for God knows why. They take 3.5 days to grow, and each one rewards just under 16k XP for like, I don't know, like 40k XP maybe. This is a lot of maths for an English major to handle. Hespori is my one saving grace. It's a little slice of PVM for the skilling community. Real tough boss. You have to grow it, wait 3 days to fight it, and then it's go time. The Hespori has a few mechanics to watch out for. At the start of the fight, flowers open and it's dead. I guess that's 12k XP then. Finally, and I mean finally, if I really want to spend my active playtime training farming, I can do Tithe Farm. With Tithe Farm, you grow bolognese seeds into big old spaghetti plants by running around watering them before they dry up. If you gain enough points here, you can earn pieces of the farmer's outfit like this snazzy hat. But it wears my soul away just being in this area, so I've barely touched it, even though the XP rate isn't all that bad. Before undertaking this grind, I didn't like farming. I can now confirm that I absolutely hate farming, and I unironically prefer agility to this. And to top it all off, my Iron Man friend, who gave me a bottomless compost bucket, thanks very much, keeps messaging me every time he hits a farming level to berate me for not doing my farming runs. 92 cannot come fast enough. After all that, I think I've earned a little break, so let's go over my Slayer progress. I've done quite a few tasks, so I'll only go over the interesting ones. First up, the Cave Kraken. The Cave Kraken is much lauded, probably because it's the easiest boss in the game. All you need is a good magic setup, good magic defense, and then you stand there, click on the Kraken, you win. Each kill is worth about 18,000 GP, and it has the potential to drop useful supplies, particularly Sanfew serums, which are really useful for endgame PVM. It can also drop the Trident of the Seas, which goes for around 750k. This is a real boring task and not the best for fast Slayer XP, but the money is nice, and it's super AFK, so you can do other things, like optimize your farming run. Next is Adamant Dragons. Addy Dragons are unlocked after completing Dragon Slayer 2. This is a nice quick one because I was only assigned 6 and they have reasonably good drops. The important part here though is that I'm doing this with a different Slayer Master. After completing a Slayer task, you get rewarded with Slayer points which can be redeemed to skip and block tasks, unlock items, or extend existing tasks, amongst other rewards. For most of my tasks I use Girardel. He's unlocked at 100 combat and has a really good list of varied high level tasks. Every 10th task or so though, you get a point bonus, and Konar gives the most points. So every 10th task I go to Konar. The caveat here is that her tasks have to be completed in a very specific location, which can introduce some difficulty or make some tasks not worth doing outright. The bonus to Konar's tasks is that all creatures killed while on task have a chance to drop a Brimstone key. This key opens the chest behind her, and the average value of drops from the chest is about 96k. I have however had drops in the 2 to 300k region pretty regularly. The next task worth mentioning is Black Demons, or more specifically, Demonic Gorillas. These babies are unlocked after Monkey Madness 2. They can attack with all 3 combat styles and hit like a moderately sized truck. Luckily, if you're good at counting to 3, you can predict when they're going to change their attack style. Again, English major. They've also learned to pray. So you have to be on your toes to switch what attack style you're attacking with. Here I just bring range and melee since they can't pray against more than one style at once, so I just switch to whatever is being prayed against. With enemies like this, where you have to pray and switch, it's always a good idea to make sure you're praying right first and worry about DPS later. So why am I doing Black Demons at an enemy type which fighting is akin to dragging one's privates through a trench of rusty nails? At only a 1 in 300 drop rate, Zenyte Shards are one of the juiciest Slayer drops around, making all the more worth to do Demonic Gorillas instead of having fun. And finally, I have been blessed by the Slayer gods and been given a Fight Caves task. I absolutely love these. No drops to speak of, but there is a pet chance at the end, and at higher levels, doing a full Jad task takes between 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how sweaty you want to get and what gear you have. Completing one of these awards 37k Slayer experience as well, which is juicy as hell. For those who don't know, the Fight Caves are a combat minigame where you fight through waves of enemies to reach Tiztok Jad at wave 63. Upon Jad's brutal murder at your hands, you receive a fire cape. This minigame has become a rite of passage for many OSRS players, as at low levels it requires skills like nothing you would have seen up to this point. completion of a fire cape really is that last turning point where you can stand up and say, no, I won't allow my life to be consumed by a 2-decade-old game. Or you can become entirely trapped within the confines of this sad scam game. At least this time we get a pet. Last time I spent quite a while going over my setup for the Inferno, but there have been some new developments suggested by members of the audience, so I wanted to take a second to go through them here. Big thanks to everyone that commented and suggested stuff on the last video. Jacob Douglas suggested not taking the Ancestral or the Ward, and instead just sticking with Crystal Legs without a switch and the Crystal Shield. This drive sound costs a lot, and I'll definitely be rolling into practice runs, if not full runs like this. Thanks for the suggestion. Fruit Crepes said that the Nightmare Staff is a solid base now that the Elidinous thread is out. I think this saves me a bit of money and will save me having to go for the Kodai. It also saves me time, considering this happened. Oh yeah! I f***ing got the Thread of Elidinous! And finally, Galphylol gave me a real spurt of motivation. One thing that I think will probably stick with me through this grind is that in OSRS, your life can change pretty quickly. I think a common trap that people around my level fall into is just going for Vork or Zora to try and make bank. In a pinch, I like a bit of Orcath just to make a couple mil quick, but Galphy's right. I need to put myself out there and learn some of the harder bosses. I've tried Corrupted Gauntlet a fair amount of times, but I've had no success just yet. Gauntlet is definitely on the roadmap, especially since I need the crystal set and Bopher, but I've also tried a good amount of TOA. But the team I was going to go into it with all quit just before it came out, so I was left solo and I wasn't very good at that, but they're back now, so Raid 3 is on the table. For now though, one boss I've always been desperate to learn and farm is Phosani's Nightmare. So for today, we're going to be learning that. If I can really get it down, then I'm going to start farming it as much as possible and we'll go for a drop. I guess there's not much left to do but get my best crush gear on. Oh, stop standing in the pools. 100 mil XP. Didn't think I'd ever see the day. Yes! Let's go! Let's go! Yeah! Jesus Christ! Oof! Alright. Mithril ore, huh? And there you have it. My Phosani's Nightmare kill count is 1, and it's only up from there. Next time I'll be shooting for 50 KC to get myself on the board, and hopefully we can luck out and hit a mace or something. We'll also be lucky to finish the Falador Elite Diary. Thanks for watching. We've been putting a lot of work into making these videos as entertaining as possible, and I'm having a great time with it. Every view, like, sub, notification bell, soft kiss on the cheek, retweet, and share means so much to me. As I said at the head of the video, this one took a little longer for a lot of reasons, but I'm back on it and ready to smash my goals this year. Let's get this bread. Next episode coming soon, 2023, let's go. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking around to the end. Winter can be a tough time for a lot of people, especially if you have older relatives. Remember that the future is always coming and the past is but a distant memory. In the immortal words of Demi Demi, tough times never last, only tough people last. Oh, that's too much.